Did you know there's a way to tell in under a minute if someone secretly likes you, and it goes beyond words? Most people completely miss these invisible signals, and they're staring right at you every day. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal 4 undeniable signs that show you're both thinking the same thing, without either of you saying it out loud. And once you see them, every interaction suddenly becomes crystal clear. First, notice the eye contact, those brief glances that linger just a second too long. Then watch for mirroring, when they naturally copy your gestures or speech. It's your subconscious connection in action. Next, check how much effort they make to spend time with you, or even just reply quickly. It's more than politeness, it's attention. And finally, the laughter and playful teasing. It might seem casual, but it's a signal that both of you feel safe, excited, and genuinely drawn to each other. These subtle signals build a magnetic energy you can't fake. If you're noticing any of these signs, pause for a moment and reflect. They're real indicators of mutual interest. Hit subscribe to uncover more hidden dynamics in relationships, and let's decode the psychology behind attraction together. You'll never look at your connections the same way again. Have you ever noticed that strange tension between you and someone? A pull that feels magnetic yet uncertain. You can't fully define it, but it hangs in the air. You catch them glancing at you, and in that instant, your heart whispers, "Something is happening here." But then your mind steps in, overthinking everything. You start questioning yourself. Am I imagining this? Do they really feel it too? Or am I just reading too much into it because I want it to be real? Mutual attraction often hides in everyday moments. It doesn't always show up in grand gestures or dramatic words, but in small, consistent actions that reveal more through repetition than expression. Sometimes it's obvious. Their eyes soften when they look at you. Their tone shifts subtly, or they lean just a bit closer than necessary. But other times, it's confusing. You find yourself second-guessing, trapped in your own thoughts, dissecting every message, every pause, every glance, and that uncertainty can drive even the calmest mind a little crazy. The reassuring part is that human behavior and biology give us patterns, observable signs that indicate when two people are genuinely drawn to each other. These cues are not imagination, they're rooted in our nature, chemistry, and natural motions. So in this video, we're exploring the real psychology of mutual attraction through 4 clear signs that show you both genuinely like each other. Stick around until the end, because I'll also reveal some hidden signs that most people completely overlook, the subtle cues that quietly indicate a deeper connection than either person admits. These insights are based on human behavior and emotional awareness. By the end, you'll notice the signs that really matter, and understanding them could reveal a truth already unfolding in your life. The first sign is that you both reach out regularly. When attraction is one-sided, the effort always feels lopsided. One person is doing all the chasing, while the other responds out of habit or politeness. You feel that imbalance deep down. You sense the emotional distance. You wait for hours for a message that might never come. You replay conversations that felt awkward, short, or empty. But when it's mutual, something feels different. You notice a quiet harmony, both of you naturally finding reasons to connect. It's not about trying too hard or strategizing. It's about genuine curiosity and a real pull. They'll share a funny thought, a meme, or something that reminded them of you. You'll do the same without even thinking about it. Sometimes they text first, sometimes you do. What matters is the rhythm. The emotional energy flows both ways. You don't feel like you're chasing. They're not distant. You're drawn toward each other naturally. There's excitement, that little thrill when their name pops up on your phone. And the conversation doesn't feel like work. It feels alive. Even without a reason to talk, you both find one. You send a casual, "What are you up to?" just to keep the connection alive, and they respond warmly, showing they were waiting too. This kind of back and forth is not random. It's the first psychological sign of emotional reciprocity. It shows that your brains are rewarding both of you for interacting. Dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin create a loop of pleasure that strengthens attraction with every interaction. When you consistently reach out, it's not a coincidence. Your minds are associating each other with positive feelings. That's connection forming in real time. Here's what many people miss. When it's one-sided, silence feels heavy. But when it's mutual, silence feels temporary because both people want to reconnect. Neither lets conversations die. Both know, in a quiet way, that staying connected matters more than pretending not to care. This shared rhythm, this effort from both sides, is one of the clearest signs the bond means something. It's not about how often you talk, but the intention behind it. It's that subtle truth your actions whisper to each other. I think of you, and I hope you think of me too. If you notice this natural flow of effort, that spark in conversation that refuses to fade, don't dismiss it. That's emotional reciprocity, the first step of true mutual attraction. The second sign is that you mirror each other without realizing it. Mirroring is one of the quietest yet strongest indicators of connection. When two people are emotionally aligned, their bodies begin to move in sync naturally. It's not about copying or trying to impress. It's instinctive. You cross your legs, and moments later, they do too. You tilt your head while listening, and they unconsciously match your posture. Even your laughter falls into rhythm, matching pace, energy, and tone. This isn't coincidence. It's your nervous systems aligning. Psychologists call this limbic resonance. It's when two emotional systems start reflecting each other's inner state. Your breathing slows, your voice tone aligns, and even small facial expressions sync up. This happens because you feel safe and connected with the other person. Your body enters a state of co-regulation. Your nervous system essentially says, I can relax here, I feel safe. And when that happens, your movements naturally match. So if you notice yourself using the same words, laughing at the same rhythm, or mimicking gestures, it's not weird. It's attraction. Biology is showing the truth your mind might still deny. The beauty is, mirroring can't be faked for long. If someone tries to do it consciously, it feels awkward or robotic. But when it happens naturally, it feels effortless. You laugh together without realizing why, pause at the same moment, or fall silent, and it feels full rather than empty. That's when you know this isn't surface-level interest. It's a genuine psychological connection. Nature uses mirroring to show belonging. When this happens repeatedly, emotional attraction grows into a deeper bond. Watch closely. Notice how they move when you move, how their expressions reflect yours. These tiny moments of alignment are your nervous systems quietly confirming what your heart already suspects. The third sign is that you both make time, even when it's not easy. Real attraction has a natural pull. People who genuinely like each other don't just find time, they create it. When it's one-sided, there's always an excuse. I'm busy. Maybe later, next week. But when attraction is mutual, the effort feels natural. Maybe they suggest grabbing a quick bite after work. Maybe they adjust their plans just to see you for a few minutes. Or maybe you keep running into each other more often than chance would allow. That's not coincidence. That's the psychology of proximity, the subconscious pull toward where connection lives. When two people genuinely like each other, they unconsciously create micro moments. Even if it's late, even if it's inconvenient, it might be a 5-minute call before bed or a short walk after a long day. It's not about how long it lasts, it's about presence. Presence is the purest form of attraction. Think about it. We live in a world where everyone is distracted by screens, routines, and endless responsibilities. So when someone chooses to spend their limited time with you, it's more than kindness. It's prioritization. It's their way of saying, you matter enough for me to pause my world for a moment. Sometimes the moments are small, a coffee run together, a late night talk in the car, or a quick errand that turns into laughter and inside jokes. Those little efforts accumulate. They build emotional consistency, the foundation of trust. And here's something most people miss. Studies show that when we enjoy someone's company, our brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This chemical motivates us to seek their presence again and again, even if it means stepping out of comfort or convenience. So when they make time for you, not because they must, but because they want to, that's biology confirming what words cannot express. And when you do the same, emotional reciprocity grows. Attraction isn't built on grand gestures. It grows through quiet, steady efforts that say, I want to be where you are. Sometimes it's not about extravagant dates or dramatic moments. It's choosing to stay a few minutes longer, even when life says you should leave. Those small moments often change everything. The next sign is that the energy shifts when it's just the two of you. When attraction is mutual, something in the air changes the moment everyone else is gone. The atmosphere becomes denser, not in tension, but in awareness. Time slows. Outside noise fades, and suddenly it's just you and them. Your voice softens, their gaze lingers a little longer. Even silence feels charged, as if the space between words carries meaning louder than speech. Psychologists call this the intimacy effect. When two people focus entirely on each other, their bodies release oxytocin and dopamine at the same time. This chemical mix sharpens attention and creates an invisible gravitational pull. You may find yourself opening up more, sharing parts of yourself you rarely reveal. Conversations slow down, listening deepens. There's an invisible bubble around the moment and it feels almost sacred. This is when attraction goes beyond physical curiosity into emotional resonance. True attraction isn't only about what's said, but about what vibrates beneath words. Long after the moment passes, both of you replay it in your minds, not because something dramatic occurred, but because something quietly shifted. That's the subtle power of mutual attraction. It turns ordinary moments into memories that stick. Another sign is micro-jealousy and protective instincts. Jealousy gets a bad rap, but in its mild form, it's one of the clearest markers of hidden attraction. When someone truly cares, they notice if your attention drifts elsewhere. Maybe they ask casually, "Who are you texting?" Maybe they go quiet for a moment when another name comes up, or their tone changes slightly if someone flirts with you. This isn't manipulation. It's a protective instinct of genuine interest. Evolutionary psychology explains it as the attachment system responding. When two people bond, the brain subconsciously safeguards the connection. Small twinges of jealousy test emotional security. If you feel the same subtle stir when they mention someone else, that's reciprocity. You're both guarding the same connection, even if you pretend not to. Healthy attraction balances this feeling. It's not about control or fear. It's about caring. That caring reveals more than words ever could. So when you notice that flicker of protectiveness, don't dismiss it. It's not insecurity. It's emotional investment quietly showing itself. Then there's how your energy affects each other without a single word. This is the most subtle yet scientifically backed layer of attraction. When mutual, your emotional frequencies begin to synchronize. If you enter a room stressed, they feel it. If they're down, you pick it up instantly. Neuroscience calls this emotional contagion. Our mirror neuron systems read each other's micro signals, tone, posture, breathing, and mirror the emotion to maintain connection. That's why being around the right person feels calming, almost healing, while being near the wrong one feels draining. When attraction is mutual, you regulate each other's emotional states naturally. A glance can ground you. A brief touch can shift your mood. Even a simple message can brighten or weigh down your day. This isn't just chemistry, it's nervous system resonance. You don't force it, you don't overthink it. You just feel more yourself when they are near. Attraction isn't always fireworks or grand declarations. Most of the time, it's quiet, built through consistent shared effort and a rhythm only two people can feel. You've seen it in every sign, the back and forth communication, the unconscious mirroring, the willingness to make time, the energy shift when alone together, the gentle jealousy, and the invisible harmony binding two emotional worlds. If you've been noticing these signs, you're not imagining it. Something real is forming, whether acknowledged or not. The beautiful part is, once you recognize it, you aren't powerless. You can choose your next move because attraction isn't luck, it's awareness. When you see the truth behind behavior, you act with confidence, calmness, and quiet strength that comes from understanding human nature. Pay attention to patterns, not just words, because the smallest signs often speak the loudest. If this video gave you even a small bit of clarity or made you notice things you hadn't before, make sure you subscribe to Dark Psychology. Here, we dive deep into the hidden layers of human behavior, the subtle patterns of attraction, and the unseen dynamics that guide how we connect with others. Every week, we explore the invisible forces that shape our relationships, our choices, and the way we feel, often without realizing it. Understanding these forces isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. It's about seeing what's really happening under the surface and using that knowledge to navigate your connections with more confidence, calm, and clarity. I'm Amelia, and I've spent years studying the quiet ways humans interact, the tiny signals that often go unnoticed, and the moments that quietly shape bonds between people. What I've learned is this: the most powerful connections in life are rarely loud or dramatic. They don't always come with fireworks, bold gestures, or obvious signs. They're subtle. They're small. They live in the pauses, the glances, the unconscious movements, the shared laughter, and the moments when two people are present with each other without any pretense. They're the connections that are felt in the body, in the nervous system, and in the heart before they are even recognized by the mind. Think about it. How often have you walked away from a conversation and realized later that something about it lingered inside you? Maybe it wasn't what was said, but how it made you feel. That's the power of emotional resonance, the invisible, undeniable pull that comes from true connection. And these connections don't just appear randomly. They grow slowly, often without our noticing, through small, consistent behaviors. A text sent without reason, a subtle gesture, a shared look, a conversation that feels effortless. When these moments start happening regularly, it's a sign that something deeper is forming. It's a sign that both people are contributing to a rhythm that only they can feel, a rhythm that builds trust, intimacy, and attraction in ways that words alone can't capture. By subscribing to Dark Psychology, you'll learn to notice these signs more clearly. You'll understand how energy flows between people, how small gestures reveal big truths, and how emotional reciprocity works in ways most people completely overlook. You'll see why someone's body language, their tone, or even the timing of a message can say more than any words could. You'll begin to understand the invisible systems that govern human attraction, attention, and connection. This isn't just useful for romantic relationships. It applies to friendships, family dynamics, work relationships, and every social interaction where understanding others deeply can change your experience and outcomes. And here's the most important thing: the more you recognize these signs, the more empowered you become. You start to move through your interactions with intention instead of confusion. You no longer have to guess whether someone is genuinely interested in you or if you're imagining it. You start to notice the small patterns that reveal truth, and that awareness allows you to respond in ways that build stronger, more meaningful bonds. Because when you understand human behavior at this level, you don't just observe life, you participate in it consciously, fully aware of the hidden dynamics that guide attraction, influence, and connection. So if you felt even a hint of recognition watching this video, if you've caught yourself nodding because you've experienced some of these patterns in your own life, I invite you to subscribe. Stay connected with Dark Psychology, where every week we uncover the subtle forces that shape human behavior and attraction, breaking down the invisible cues and patterns that so often go unnoticed. Together, we'll explore the delicate, hidden threads that tie people together, showing you not just how to notice them, but how to understand and respect them, allowing you to experience deeper, more authentic relationships. Remember, the most powerful connections in life aren't always visible. They don't always come with fanfare or recognition. They're felt deeply, often in silence. They exist in the glances that linger too long, in the moments when someone goes out of their way to be near you, in the energy that shifts the instant you're together. They live in emotional reciprocity, in shared attention, in subtle gestures that speak louder than words ever could. They are quiet, persistent, and undeniable when you know what to look for. That's the beauty of true attraction, true connection, and genuine human bonding. So stay curious, stay observant, and pay attention to the patterns. When you can see them, you'll never be blind to what's really happening between people again. You'll start noticing the small, consistent efforts that reveal the truth. And most importantly, you'll understand that the most meaningful relationships are rarely loud. They are subtle, consistent, and deeply felt. Join this journey into the hidden world of human behavior and start seeing the unseen. Because understanding the quiet rules of connection isn't just fascinating, it's transformative. And remember, the connections that matter most in life aren't always said. They're sensed, they're shared, and they're felt. They exist in the little moments, in the small gestures, and in the invisible rhythm that forms when two people are truly drawn to each other. That is the magic you don't always see, but it's always there. Have you ever noticed that strange tension between you and someone? A pull that feels magnetic yet uncertain? You can't fully define it, but it hangs in the air. You catch them glancing at you, and in that instant, your heart whispers, something is happening here. But then your mind steps in, overthinking everything. You start questioning yourself. Am I imagining this? Do they really feel it too? Or am I just reading too much into it because I want it to be real? Mutual attraction often hides in everyday moments. It doesn't always show up in grand gestures or dramatic words, but in small, consistent actions that reveal more through repetition than expression. Sometimes it's obvious. Their eyes soften when they look at you. Their tone shifts subtly, or they lean just a bit closer than necessary. But other times it's confusing. You find yourself second-guessing, trapped in your own thoughts, dissecting every message, every pause, every glance, and that uncertainty can drive even the calmest mind a little crazy. The reassuring part is that human behavior and biology give us patterns, observable signs that indicate when two people are genuinely drawn to each other. These cues are not imagination, they're rooted in our nature, chemistry, and natural motions. So in this video, we're exploring the real psychology of mutual attraction through 6 clear signs that show you both genuinely like each other. Stick around because I'll also reveal subtle cues that most people completely overlook, the hidden signals that quietly indicate a deeper connection than either person admits. These insights are based on human behavior and emotional awareness. By the end, you'll notice the signs that really matter, and understanding them could reveal a truth already unfolding in your life.